Hello, everybody. This is Mike, and welcome back to Legacy of Stramdex. Where we last left off, everybody got into town, and they were all getting ready for a little bit of politicking. So, currently, I forgot to do my math again, because I didn't write it down. They need... Give me 1 second. 23 times 0.66. They need 15 of the council members to vote yay on them getting their piece of sick boar and the piece that's stored at the temple out of the city. They currently have 2. 15. Make a note of that. So yeah, they were going to do some politicking, and they currently are under the guide of Lakwek Talipal, a satyr who is also a representative of the Fellows of Layir, or of Liar, the god of party and revelry. Probably one of my favorite gods. Yeah. So where we last left off, everyone was kind of deciding where they wanted to go. Let's say that we've had about 24 hours, though, because they got back in the evening, right? Even though they should have been... There was some time fuckery, they might remember, but they're back in the evening, 2 days after they entered that dungeon. Now, we'll say that nighttime has passed. You guys have an open invitation to stay with Lakwek Talipal. You also have an open invitation to stay with Theed Blackedge III at his temple, not with the man himself, obviously.
No sleepovers?
Yeah, or you could stay at your normal, the Huntsman Inn. Or the Deepwoods Lodge, rather.
I don't know, guys. Deepwoods Lodge has booze.
So does the Flop House of Liar, actually.
I'm just gonna say I'm gonna stay with Theed because, you know, Seifel is fangirling over the fact that he got to talk to someone who's connected to this whole plot somehow.
Yeah, okay. Right
Heracles
on.
has never partied with a satyr, but he's not going to let him know that. Probably got lots of made-up stories ready to go.
Oh yeah, and Lakwek is totally down. He's like, oh hell yeah! Have you ever been to a flop house before?
Well, of course. Only every city I've ever been in.
Alrighty then. Well then, you're gonna feel right at home, buddy. And he like claps you on your back as he starts heading you towards the flop house.
How Bacchanalian are all of these things? Or
Bacchanalian? Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, they are, we'll say that they're, I can envision the guy I'm thinking of. He's the dude who always was talking about parties. Damn it, I ruined the joke. 10. There we go. Yeah, so 10 out of 10 parties. Like, every night, it's fucking wild. How about good old Johan?
Let's see. Johan's probably just gonna go to the tavern, to be honest.
He's gonna go to the Deepwoods Lodge?
Yeah, partying. Not. Yeah, he's gonna go there because the partying doesn't really fit him, and neither does a temple, or a temple essentially.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Seifel, this is the opposite of the way that you were raised in this temple. This is disciplined and ascetic. So like you sleep on like a straw bed. Like
I slept on a dungeon floor last night, so
so it's better than that, yeah. Grellin's gonna go with you, Johan. He's gonna be like, my partying days are a little bit behind me. And by behind me, I mean I've got hungover a couple days ago, so I prefer to not to again.
Johan laughs like, of course, I'm not one for those loud parties. You can't really hear many people in there.
You hear Heracles in the background.
Across the city.
Across the city. Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Someone gave him access to the party horn.
Oh, no.
Oh man, beautiful. I'm already out of water, so this is gonna be difficult for the first 10 minutes of this stream. We'll say that the night goes by fairly, For some of you, uneventful. For others of you, you have been convinced into doing cake stands. Um, but yeah, you guys wake up in the morning. Heracles, you feel like shit. Seifel, your back feels surprisingly good. Johann and Grellen, pretty bog standard morning.
I'd probably get up first, because if these guys are like Saxon monks, they probably wake up at like 6 in the morning.
Oh, they wake up at the crack of dawn
Yeah,
and start doing
first
chores.
light.
In fact, you are like, they don't like ask if you can do chores, but like if you flag someone down, they'll definitely be like, yeah, you want to do this? Like, here you go,
It's like they don't ask, but there's an extra broom that's just been sitting there untouched by your door.
Exactly.
I help a little bit.
Sure. The chores here are, I wouldn't say they're rigorous, but they're very, like, every chore you see someone do feels like it has an ulterior purpose. Like, not quite like wax on, wax off, but more like centering yourself and like being
repetition.
Yeah,
like there's a rhythm to it instead of just random. Exactly.
Being content with the aesthetic around you and finding your inner balance while doing it, like, for instance, if you're like walking around in the morning, you see that there are 10 people in total in their giant Zen garden, all with rakes, slowly and methodically creating a new pattern.
Yeah, it's just like a lot of Zen Buddhists do. They do a repetitive task over and over and over as a form of meditation.
The blanking of the mind, yeah. Let's see.
But yeah, I would work there for a little bit, enough to kind of show my gratitude that they let me stay.
Yeah.
But then I'm going to like go, and since I probably have a lot of time that it'll take me to go and talk to the, God, what was his title? Give me un momento.
Yeah, which one are you
representative of the fiefdoms.
Daniel Miller.
Yeah, is he in the city, or is he? I'm assuming he's outside the city somewhere.
A special council has been called because the fact that, like, basically they killed all of the Silver Caste or arrested them. So, like, currently the city is in, like, go time.
Okay, since he's there, I still leave pretty early because I want to make a very good impression that I'm one with the common people. Because the common people have to get up early.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be wearing my regular adventuring attire when I go to meet Daniel Miller.
Yeah, and Daniel Miller is, he's located, we'll say he's in a pretty nice tavern, like where he's staying, probably because his position. We'll say he's actually in the Golden Beetle, a place that you are fairly familiar with.
Oh dear.
Well, I mean, now that the Silver Caste is gone.
Yeah, that's true. It's just bad memories, man.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I would go there, and if he was not there, then ask to see him when at all possible.
Oh, he's super fucking
he's
like nonchalantly sitting there, sipping on like a low ale, like a low proof ale, and he's super. But no, sipping on a low proof ale and just in general. Oh God, there's so many things happening around me. My Facebook, my Discord, it's all going wild. But yeah, he's like drinking a pretty humble ale, with his feet kicked back. The only way that you could pick him out from the crowd is the fact that he's wearing a very bright golden badge of honor.
So he's he's the hand of the queen.
Kind of, yeah. He's got this bright golden badge pinned to him, and you walk into the Golden Beetle, and you get the scent of the perfumes that they use, and you see the high quality shelf of booze, and he's almost out of place in how low he's dressed.
Yeah, I'm probably that way too, because I look, adventuring attire is built for purpose, not aesthetics.
Functional. Yes, yeah. And, like, it's not like he's dressed poorly, but the people here are dressed to the nines.
Yeah,
this is
we both stick out because we are not extravagant. We're
Yeah.
not. Our hair has not been done up to look like boats, Marie Antoinette.
Yeah, no, straight up.
But yeah, I would go and you know, offer him not like a cordial bow, but very much like respectful for his position as someone on the city council.
He sees you do this bow and goes, "What you doing that for?"
Well, I was just wanted to, be respectful, councilman.
He says, "I'm just giving you shit."
I smile.
Yeah. He looks at you and he goes, he kicks his feet off the table and he stands up and reaches over you and goes, "Daniel Miller, pleasure to meet you."
I take his hand, give it as good a grip as I can.
And let me give you a brief description of him. He's
Mhm.
he's an older man, like he's probably in his like 40s or 50s, and he's a human. He's got graying hair. His mustache is pretty much gray at this point. He's got a big balding amount. Salt and pepper going in his hair, and he's wearing a fairly nice for common folk. Like the ensemble probably cost him a gold in total, which is pretty impressive. At least for his station, it's a nice green tunic with some nice clean press brown leggings and some black shoes. He's a little bit overweight. He says, you were going to introduce yourself."
Yeah, and I'm not hiding my Tibetness anymore.
Yeah.
I take his hand, I shake it, I'm like, I'm Sifo Vedamane. It's nice to meet you.
Vedamane, I've heard of your ilk before. Fairly decent folk. And he kind of motions for you to sit. He waves his fingers like, "Barmaid, another ale, please."
Make it 2.
Um,
I'll pay.
He was like, he kind of looks at you and goes, you kind of feel this slight kind of feeling in the air, and he goes, "All right, why not?" You know.
And I didn't mean it in like a, oh, I'm rich, more just a, hey, drinks are on me, friend.
Oh, no, for sure. And like that's definitely like he probably knows that intention, but he's a proud man. You know what I mean? He's like, "So, what can I do you for?"
So I was part of the adventuring group that was working with Theed Black Edge on recovering the pieces of Sickbore. And
So you're what's got the whole council in a tizzy, eh?
Not my intention, but
He goes, "Nah, them council folk, to be honest with you, not exactly the, what would you call them? Most subtle of ilk?"
none of the Highborn really are.
He kind of like looks at you with that look of like, uh-huh. Like,
I'd probably catch that. I'm like, if you know a lot about the Vedamanes, you know I'm not really I'm not a very favored member of the family. And I like wiggle my ears.
yeah. He goes, "Yeah, to be honest with you, I've never actually heard of you."
No, in fact, most people don't because I'm the sad little secret that they like to keep hidden away.
"Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Happens far too often in noble houses, if you ask me. One minute they're
Exactly.
nobility, the next minute they're a plowshare."
Anything to hide their pretty reputation.
Make me a diplomacy check, by the way.
Oh dear.
This is a pretty good opportunity for that.
I'm not very good at that.
It'll have to happen between now and you convincing him to get your vote. Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
I just figured that would happen.
So it basically doesn't matter what I say.
Well, there's still options. He's like, "Yeah, well, whatever the case, I'm assuming that you're wanting me to vote positive in that vote that's about to happen about the shards, eh?"
I nod.
He's like, and about this time, probably the ale gets brought to the table. He takes it, takes a big swig, a hearty working man's swig. He should be in a Budweiser commercial. But he drops the tankard onto the table and goes, "Tell you what, you know how this whole deal works. You're an adventurer, aren't you?"
Yeah, there's probably something we wear that's like, hey, I'm part of the Adventurers Guild.
Oh yeah, there's probably like a necklace or a ring.
Yeah, I'm like, I show that as the yes, I am.
Well, truth be told, we haven't been getting proper representation out there for our fiefdoms. I've been feeling a little underpowered lately, and I'm in my third year of my 4-year, or I'm in my fourth year of my 5-year term. After this, I don't get reelected. I go back to being a village elder, and I want to try and make as much of an impact as I can.
Right.
So
that's
here's
only
the thing.
fair.
Yeah, he goes, so here's the thing. Some land succession disputes have been happening up near, some land disputes have been happening up near the Raven Farms. A lot of these workers are being held for basically what's slavery. Some sort of indentured servitude based on some sort of family blood bullshit. Basically, the only reason that they're allowed to do it is because the guards around here aren't doing shit. So, tell you what, if you can get me the alliance of just 5 members, I'm sure I can put together a coalition that can help everyone else out.
Well, it's a good thing that some of my associates and I, we're actually going to talk to the captain of the guard. We have some things that might interest her.
Hell, if you can get just the captain of the guard on it, I'd be more than happy and give you my vote. Pretty much as soon as I hear something's happening with the wheels of industry to get some warm bodies moving down there to tell them to quit fucking around, I'll be more than happy.
I offer my hand as
Oh,
a
he
gentleman's
shakes it.
shake.
Oh, he totally shakes it.
And I'm like, I think we have a deal. It's something that I think we can actually accomplish.
He goes, well, I appreciate that. Just as soon as I hear from someone, I'll guarantee my vote. Plus, I mean, you got a week for the vote anyway. You got plenty of time.
I kind of go, not really.
He's like, don't worry, kid. I've only been in this position for 4 years, and if an old, incompetent fool like me can navigate the political waterways of this big, shiny city, he, rolls his eyes as he says it. It's like, I'm sure someone young and full of spunk and has Veramain as the last name can do something with it.
Sorry,
We're
no,
just
I'm
gonna have to borrow
sorry,
it,
I thought it was
aren't we?
muted.
At the end of the day, we're just gonna have to end up borrowing this piece of sick.
Yeah,
yeah.
drink back the ale. It's pretty low proof, so even someone small like me can take it.
Oh yeah, I mean it'd be like a session ale in our time, so something like 2% or less.
But I drink it all up because I'm not planning on sticking around. But I don't want to be seen as wasteful.
Oh, of course, yeah. Good move with this guy.
I stand, I shake his hand again. I'm like, well, Mr. Miller, I'll definitely keep you abreast as much as I can.
He says, would be much appreciated. They don't give me any official lodgings in the house. They just pay for me to stay down here, so if you ever need me, I'll be over here.
Noted. Thank you for your time.
He tips his hat to you and says, pleasure.
I tip my ears to him.
My farmer. But
you were studying the plowshare.
Oh yeah. You were studying the plowshare. But yeah. So along with that, we will now cut over to Johan and Grellin.
Yeet.
Grellin, Johan, you guys are, enjoying your breakfast or whatever. Johan, you wake up at a reasonable time?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, would they let me cook breakfast?
Yeah, actually, if you
Hell yeah.
offered.
Yeah, I'll help with cooking.
Right on. Make me a check.
Yay! Okay.
I love when players get to use checks that are relevant.
Three. Sorry, no, not 3.
Rude.
I just think it would
None
be
of us
funny.
have rolled over a 10 in like 3 sessions.
I figure out which one
That's
that
not
is.
true at all.
Profession.
Other than like once or twice.
Well,
There
how's
you
it go?
Nice.
Oh, let's
Yeah.
see. Hey, look, it was a 10.
Yeah, you cook pretty much on par with them. You actually spice up the gruel a little bit.
I just wanted
but-
to see what they would do if you rolled like a 2 or 3 or something.
Oh, they'd kick him out of the kitchen.
Yeah, they just take over. They're like, "You're useless. Get out."
Yeah. Yeah, totally. You help them cook, and they're like, "Well, I was gonna put this on Grellin's tab, but seeing how it's exceeding 200 gold, we'll just cut today's night off." Yeah. So you guys are you do some cooking, and maybe like as you're cooking and you're bringing out, you finally gotten the bulk of the cooking done, and you're bringing out like your and Grellin portion. When you see a fellow from the monastery in his black and red robe walk in, and he has a letter in his hands, and he hands it to. He sees you're carrying food. He says, Master Helskin, Master Far Traveler, I have a message for you. Do you take it, or you let Grellin take it?
I'll let him take it as I'm like carrying this tray of food to another table. Like I'm serving people.
You're
at this point.
serving
Like,
and shit.
Here you go.
I love it. Yeah, Grellin.
I'm staying on the house, by the way.
Oh.
It's on the house. My foot
Thief.
I love it. This is the true definition of rogue. Not necessarily someone who maliciously steals money, but someone who just has a propensity to use it. But yeah, Grellin like pops it open, he, like sees you. He's like, "Hey, quit jacking around. Come over here. We got some shit."
Yes, my friend.
Yeah, comes over and goes, looks like we've got an interesting little bit of information. Seems like we have someone who's interested in joining our voting pact, but says there's on a condition, and they want us to meet him. Looks like it's the Alderman of Notwall, Krupp Valsathari. And you've lived in this town long enough. You know Krupp Valsathari is one of the most crooked members on the council.
Is corrupt.
Yes, very much so. Krupp is actually the only goblinoid or goblinoid style person on like holding any political power. He is a hobgoblin.
Don't trust him.
But yeah, he's like, I figure that this is our first stop today. That sound good to you?
Of course, we should. Probably make that stuff now.
Yeah. And Grellin like scarfs down his food. He's like, "All right, well, let's go." And yeah, he takes you out towards Notwall. And of course, you know what Notwall is like. I don't need to describe it. Just fucking jank. But in the middle of Notwall, there is a giant, pristine mansion that is guarded by heavy guards at all hours of the day. This is the Alderman's house of Notwall. You guys approach the gate, and the guard says, "Oi, state your business." Grellin kind of looks at you.
Yeah, trying to remember how. I don't really know how to phrase this. Who are we here to see again? I can't remember the name.
You're here to see Krupp Valsathari.
God, that's why.
Yeah, you know my names.
We're here to see Craft Safari on a business pertaining to an upcoming vote.
Grellin produces the note silently and hands it to the guard. The guard looks up and down and goes, "All right, you're all right for right now. Don't cause no trouble. And they kind of open the gate to this really nice manor.
Keep your hands where I can see them, sneak thief.
Yeah, exactly. So as you're walking in, you see that this place is really finely, like fucking, really finely manicured garden-wise. There's like a nice fountain as well. There's all sorts of just fantastic-looking architecture and stuff. You're seeing stuff from all over Arakan, by the way. Like you've been through the Vale, and you see some like wooden carvings from the Vale, and that surprises you probably because the Vale doesn't really export anything, and kind of hostile when you ask them to. And all sorts of shit. But you get let into the front door by this very, very old-looking manservant. He goes, "Oh, Krupp is here to. Krupp is going to see you. Please ascend the stairs to his room or to his study." Let me see here. And yeah, so you I'm assuming you go up to his study.
Of course.
Yeah. You go up to his study, and there's this great big set of oak doors with the symbology for 1 second. I always forget my own god's names. There's it's a on one door there is the symbology for Dilius, the god of commerce, and then on the other door there's the insignia of Bathasa, the god of greed. But yeah, do you knock on the door? Do you open it? How do you do it?
I'll knock.
Yeah.
It's only polite.
Yeah. You knock and you hear, "Come in."
I open the door.
Yeah. You open the door, and behind a desk, you see, dressed to the absolute nines, a hobgoblin. It's got those big long ears and those super razor sharp teeth and those glowing red eyes that by default seem to be full of malice. He's wearing this nice purple robe with this golden piping on the edges. And he just, he looks and he's got a smile. And there's another figure in the corner, kind of obscured by shadow. He says, "Ah, you must be them Votes boys."
That is us, yes. It's nice to meet you. Mr.
Pleasure's all mine. He says, "So, I hear you're trying to get a couple pieces of sick boar out of the city for whatever God knows that Theed wants you to do."
That is correct.
Well, to be honest with you, I wish the pieces of sick boar was mine. But, even I know my own station on that one. But I might have a bit of an offer for you. See, I hold a vote on the council, as you might have assumed from this relative opulence and comfort I live in. But none of it ever came at no price. I've been trying to figure out something for years, and that something happens to be, well, how do I get the upper edge? It's kind of a really important question when you're in a position such as mine. But I think I have it figured out. I'm gonna cut straight to the chase. I'm gonna give you a vote, and I'm gonna give it to you easy. All you gots to do is take my lovely friend with you on whatever adventure you go on, and he'll know when it's his time to part ways. And he points to the figure in shadow. And at this point, Gary, you want to give us a character description?
Hi there. Yeah. He's a pale human.
He is a pale human.
Yeah, he's very pale. Really pale. Like, have you ever seen a person that's really pale?
Okay, very descriptive. I love it.
Imagine me, Daniel.
Yeah, imagine James.
Look at
I
me.
saw James for the first time the other day. Yeah. Hey. Me too. I mean, he's not wearing anything special. It's just, got some like probably some darker colored clothes, just because theming and whatnot. Um, he's got some long white hair. So
Long flowing
long.
locks.
Yeah, right. Got some white eyes. Got some, and he's slightly obscured in shadow. Because shadows.
Yeah.
But
Shadows
when
of-
he steps out of the shadow, what is he wearing? Or is he always gonna be
Shadows.
shadow
He's
everywhere we
always
go?
obscured in shadows.
No,
I
that-
love
that's
it.
actually
there's
him. That's his face.
shadow.
Always. He has a hood of obscuring with
Noon on a prairie, he's still shrouded in shadows.
Mister, do I have anything? Do I have anything for that? I might. Oh, I don't. I'm sad.
I'm pretty sure you're still always obscured in shadows. I'll allow it. It makes sense for your character.
You are a shadow caster.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
You're spoiling the thing for Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah, jeez.
I was gonna
Nah.
keep the secret until I
Johan
actually did
kind of
some
like
stuff with it.
squints at the shadow and just like, he's a strange one. Does he not like light at all?
I don't know. Hey, Jonathan, introduce yourself.
Hello. How are you?
I'm
I'm
great,
Jonathan.
friend.
Just such a quiet character.
Hello. I wanted to do a mute, but that didn't work. That wouldn't work.
Yeah. You can do a mute if you want, actually.
Yeah,
It's
but
hard
I'd have
to-
to do. I'd have to.
It's hard to do a mute
camera.
without someone that can at least communicate with you.
That's
in some
true.
way.
That's
Yeah.
true. He's like, Jonathan's a bit of a quiet one, not very talkative too often, but trust me, he'll be a useful fellow on your path. I've seen him do things, and he like gets this like malice-filled glint in his eye, like, and this big sharkish smile. He
Thing.
goes, so, what say you? You want free vote or no?
I suppose it does not hurt to bring someone along for a little extra assistance. I think we could get along just well.
Yeah,
Everyone's a friend.
Grellin looks and goes, yeah, you can't be worse than the cat. I mean, at least you're not going to talk a bunch.
Wow.
He says it with a smile on his
Yeah.
He nudges you as a
I'm trying to
joke.
figure out who he's insulting here. He says cat, but then he says talk about.
Who knows? It's a hobgoblin. They're just bleh.
No, that was
that was
Grellin.
That's
Grellin.
Grellin.
Oh. Well, he is
Grellin
a
was talking
bard,
trash
so.
on you.
Huh?
Heracles had never seen such bullshit.
Yeah, Grellin's just a fucking goofball who will
Oh.
make fun of his buddy at any opportunity.
Have you
Just
seen
like
my
me.
rolls? I deserve it.
But yeah, Grellin's like, well, shit, I can't argue with a free vote. Does this guy come with any strings attached? And Hobgoblin,
And
Krupp.
Hobgoblin.
Yeah, Krupp, god damn it. Krupp goes, nope. I even tested myself, he's house trained. Another giant grin on his face.
God, I love
Interesting.
this guy.
Really
Can we
is
take
just
him
a
along with us?
goblin.
Huh?
Can we just take him along with us?
Keep Krupp Balsathari.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He's not the adventuring type. He's the sit back and make everyone else do adventuring for him because he's blackmailing them type.
Dude, he can sit in my backpack. I don't care, dude. I'd love
Yeah, I
it.
was like, can we have like a
Oh, he's a
pearl of
medium
sending?
creature.
He's a medium creature?
Yeah, he's a
Oh.
Yeah.
hobgoblin.
Pearl
Oh,
of
yeah.
permanent sending? Like, we just hear him all the time, making
Yeah.
up
I'll carry
comments
him
about
around.
what
I
we're
don't
doing.
care. Oh, wait. I don't have the strength for that.
Yeah. Oh, you'll run into Krupp again, now that I know he's a friend.
Oh, dude, I love him.
But, yeah, so, yeah, Grellin's like, well, fuck it. Guess we're gonna hit the street again. Who do we want to talk to next? Anybody got any recommendations?
I don't know. No one's said anything about Heracles.
Oh no, you're next. Don't worry. I'm
You
just
and
setting
I
a
are gonna-
path for these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Take a look at the list here.
Heracles, you and I are gonna go and talk to the captain of the guard and schmooze her.
Well, Heracles is gonna do something while you're doing something, unless Heracles is knocked out till like
There it
noon, hungover.
I was looking at her key.
No.
I mean,
So I should avoid the
sounds
College
very
of the Weed or the Academy. I've probably taken books from there.
stupid.
I definitely should avoid the Grand Judge. He has probably got me on a shit list.
I
We
love
already
it.
have the host of fellows. High priest would probably try to convert me.
Just pay lip service and be like, "Oh yes, I've seen the light."
While you guys figure that out, I need to refill my agua. Strategize!
I can probably take the College of the Weave because I'm a spellcaster and not an evil shadowcaster.
He's
Oh,
not
let's see
evil.
here.
I know, I'm just saying.
Not every character that I play is evil. Actually, I haven't played a single evil character on stream yet.
You probably maybe want Heracles to take
Take what?
War Master of Strong Arm of the Strong Arm Guild Hall.
The Fighters Guild.
Yes, that would probably make most sense. Or well, no, he doesn't know Dion. I could just see him walking into the lead explorer's office and be like, "So, if I take 50 contracts from you right now and promise to have them done by checks watch, I don't have a watch, end of day, will you? Can we have you?" And then
Oh
he'd
my
be
God.
like, "Well, I was just gonna give it to you anyways, but now."
But now that you offered.
Uwu notices your explorations.
Hey, by the way, there's like a Tarrasque underneath the city. I need you to take care of.
Oh my God.
Don't worry, we'll just get some clay golems, even though the Tarrasque's
No, those
stomach
don't work.
acid destroys magic, so they're just regular clay.
By the way, those have to pass through a knife stomach first. That would tear the clay golems to pieces, and then they get to the acid stomach. And then if they survive
wait. You mean like teeth?
like bone and teeth stomach, yes.
I know you were just like that has to go through like a knife stomach, and I was like, you mean the teeth? That's what you mean.
Well, but they're like razor sharp knives. They're not just
The teeth.
I wonder if an osteomancer could kill the Tarrasque by making it boneless.
Boneless.
Its carapace is magic deflect.
Well, good thing the osteomancer is okay if he turns boneless.
I was gonna say you're gonna have to roll when you shoot magic at it, and if you roll a 20, it deflects back.
I wish I had no bones.
And then you turn into no bone.
Dude, that's what the osteomancer can do. It can turn itself into a boneless jelly thing that can slip under 6-inch cracks.
You ever wanted your spellcasters to be boneless?
We were talking about clay golems and
I don't like it. I don't like the boneless spell cancer. Stop talking about the osteoporosis mancer. Bad.
Now I know what I'm playing if Cypher ever dies.
God damn it, you
Oh, dude.
motherfuckers.
I support your decision.
Ha,
I'll step out
Stramdex.
of the way.
How will you fight? With no bones!
Well, I mean, now that he's an illithid, he doesn't really have.
Cephalopodic, my man.
Yeah.
Yeah, only his head. The rest clearly has bones.
You don't know me.
What if he's got those
just
liquid
died.
bones that some cephalopods have?
Well, then fuck them. I'm the osteomancer, bitch.
Then he's gonna make himself boneless and then rebone himself inside Stramdex.
Whoa.
God,
that's not
dude,
good.
where-
Stramdex gets boned.
Stramdex gets worn like a suit.
Oh god.
Oh God.
Would you illithid me?
When a
I'd
more evil
illithid
character
me
steps
so
in.
hard.
And then the heroes save the universe by turning the guy inside out and wearing his bones.
Oh my god!
It's an exoskeleton.
So I got.
Oh god.
Oh
It's an exoskeleton. All right, and on that, do you know where you guys were wanting to go?
I'm thinking we'll probably hit up one of the aldermen because I'm a pretty normal person, and so is Grellin. So we can hit up some of the aldermen, like maybe like I don't know, the Northtown. Wait, what's
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do like Northtown or something like that.
Okay, that works. Yeah. So you give me 1 second.
I'm still dying, dude.
Hold on, I gotta find a thing real quick.
And then the
I don't
squirrel
know
went
what
back to
happens
its
next.
home world and fought all the bad guys.
I don't know what happens next, but this episode has to go in favorites.
Oh yeah, I definitely am
No,
enjoying
we're just gonna
this
clip this
conversation.
the whole part about the osteomancer.
The whole osteomancer. Yeah.
I support that decision.
Okay,
I
so
like my bosses boneless.
so Johan,
Yes.
not Johan, sorry, Heracles.
Oh.
I'm all
Heracles
fucking out.
has not slept all night. As a matter of fact, he has been taught how to turn his daylight into a strobe.
Hell yeah.
He has done many a strobe light keg stand, and
Hell
he's
yes.
somehow still standing after probably a good 12 hours apart.
Yeah.
He's crashed. He is not changed out of his full armor, which means that he probably stinks.
Oh yeah.
He has not gotten sick on himself, but other people might have gotten sick on him.
Yeah.
You're not coming
Blackwick.
with me.
Yeah.
Not
Blackwick.
yet. About 6:30, I realized, I have things to do today. One more drink.
Yeah. Blackwick comes up to you. It's probably about 8 o'clock. He looks great. He's not really drunk. Though the night before he got way fucking drunk. You probably heard him say the phrase, "I'm gonna fuck a pancake," like 12 times, and you don't know what he meant by that because he never fucked a pancake.
That you know of.
That you know of, yeah. Though he did fucking, there was a couple people who came in, and immediately, the second they came in, he ran up to him, made out with them, and then they walked out, confused as fuck as to what just happened. They're like, well, that's too much energy for me, I'm gonna leave.
And then an osteomancer came in boneless.
Oh, God.
Come on.
We're not gonna talk about that crazy part of the night.
That could be what he meant.
But, yeah. Blackwood comes up, he's like, "Hey, man, so did you get a good night's sleep?"
Bleary-eyed snaps a shaky salute because he can't exactly see who he's talking.
He's like,
"Yes, sir. No, yes, time?"
God. Heracles, I love partying as much as the next guy, but we got business to do, and it's currently 8th bell in the morning.
Oh, God.
We've got meetings to go to, Heracles. Do you understand?
Yes, I think.
He, looks at you and he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to be able to fix this in time. Heracles, sit down at this table over here."
Which one?
He just points at a table.
Which one? There are, 3 of them.
He guides you to a table and sits you down. He probably plonked down a little too hard.
Chunk.
Yeah. He goes, "Okay, now Heracles, at every time in someone's life, you gotta figure out the way that you get shit done. And I have found a perfect cure for myself." He, reaches into a satchel bag and pulls out, 4 red dried flowers. He, sets them on the table and, mashes them up into, a powder. He goes, "All right, this is red flower. we gotta be ready for the day, Heracles. And he just like toots a giant fucking line of it.
Oh my god.
Is there a line for Heracles?
There is a line for Heracles.
Okay, he
Is he
doesn't
getting our
snort the
paladin
line.
to drugs?
He smashes his face on the table and inhales through his nose.
Yeah, okay, Heracles, you immediately feel bop! Like, all right, I can
Also,
do
your goddess
anything.
forsaken.
Hey, that Adderall worked great.
Right?
Was that just
Oh.
fantasy cocaine?
No, it was fantasy Adderall.
It was fantasy both.
If it was cocaine, then he would have given me a Coca-Cola.
Ha.
Fantasy Coca-Cola.
Cocaterol. That actually sounds like a real thing.
It's made out of cats.
Oh my god.
Oh no! All right, moving.
Stifle, no.
Yes. So I need to wax the table, mow the floor, and
No.
dust the ceiling.
We're going to see somebody. I don't even think that we figured out who we were seeing. Do you want to pick or me? I can pick if you want.
You.
Hmm?
You pick.
Oh, it's like, all right. Well,
Hey, how is Pancake?
Oh, long story. I'll tell you later. And he like says like, you know what? I haven't seen Cordata in way too long. You want to pay a mossy old son of a bitch a visit?
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I was just thinking about how many grains were on this.
Yeah. He's like, don't worry about it. It's gonna be gone in half a second. And he just does like another fucking line, scooping up like the rest of it. And he's like, all right, let's go. And like fucking like gets his bag ready. But yeah, so you guys get over, you guys start heading outside of the city. You guys get about 3 miles, maybe 4 miles outside of the city. It's actually surprisingly close to Ironstone, probably about here-ish, where you find your way to this big patch of trees, or this big spot of trees, so thick that it seems like no one could ever get past it. And Lackwick stands in front and he whistles. He puts out this really high-pitched whistle, and the trees like shift and then like open up just big enough that you both can get through. And yeah, he leads you through this forest path, past all this greenery and this dirt road until you see, shaded by many trees, several figures in green robes. Lackwick goes, hey! How goes it, Petrichor, my man? How are you doing? And all of them turn around and at the same time say, Lackwick, we're in the middle of a very delicate procedure. And they like turn back around and start saying something, and Lackwick goes, yeesh, and like leans over to you, Heracles, and goes, he's a bit temperamental nowadays.
I'm not still drunk. There are actually 3 of what? I'm seeing
12 of them.
That's what I said. 15 of them.
He like rolls his eyes and he goes, Lackwick, don't you have someone you can spare? And one of them breaks away from this circle and walks over. He says, or did you say Lackwick?
Yes.
That's not what I meant. Cordata, don't you have someone you could spare? And one guy kind of breaks out of the pattern and walks towards you guys. He says, what is the matter? Can't you see I'm very busy? And Lackwick's like, listen, don't you know it's a vote week? Like, really important shit's going on in the city? I mean, I'm there, and I hate that business. He looks and he goes, I wasn't aware that it was a vote week. What are we voting on? He goes, well, I think the big guy probably should explain it more than I. He's the one who's here trying to garner some votes. And he goes, you got any of that tannic tea? Love that shit. He's like, in a minute, once the rest of me is done with this sort of thing. And he sits down and he says, you look like a... And he, like, looks up and up and up until he, like, can look at you. Because, like, he's on the very cusp of a medium creature, right? Like, barely a medium creature. You're, like, barely a medium creature on the opposite end. But yeah, he, like, looks up at you and basically says, so, what is this vote about? Gunner?
Well, Pericles died. Rip.
Oh, God. No, Gunner. Cyrus Smith.
He went to do what he said. He's gonna go sweep the table and
Mow
wax
the
the floor.
floors.
Yeah, mow the floor.
All right, so we'll skip over that and we'll go back to Sifle.
Yay!
Yay. We'll actually say that maybe you meet up. Well, do you guys choose to meet up, or are you guys going to keep doing separate stuff?
Well, I
We could
want
probably-
to go to the captain of the guard right away because
Okay.
I made a deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So
Okay.
the second I
That
get
sounds-
that, I get 2 votes.
Hey. All right. So we'll say that you're heading off to the captain of the guard. You like realize, Heracles went to the flop house last night. He's not much of a drinker. That might be a problem. Maybe I should go on my own.
Yeah.
So yeah, you are heading. You end up back at the Citadel. You head to the primary guardhouse, and this place is a massive. This place is a massive tower made out of both slate and out of sandstone. So it's got this golden and black look to it, and the slate kind of gleams in the sun. It's almost like a monument. This building. Yeah, you walk in the front door. Yeah, what's your game plan?
I go up to one of the guards
Mm-hmm.
and I say, "Excuse me, sir. I'm here to speak with Captain Barrett."
And he looks at you and goes, You're here to speak to Captain Barrett. Well, that's going to be a requisition order. And he, like, rolls his eyes.
I'm here under order by Theed Blackedge III concerning this week's vote.
He, like, sighs, like he doesn't want to do his job right now. He goes, all right, go to the 10th floor, talk to the man at the desk. He'll get you set up.
Thank you. And I go to the 10th floor and see the man at the desk.
Yeah. And there's an elven man sitting at the desk, and he
I live.
I kill
Aha!
I kill the
Hercules
elven
lives.
man and hang him from a burning tree. No.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, a classic Dwarf Fortress moment.
I live.
Hooray!
Welcome
Heracles
back.
is back. We'll actually leave this off mysteriously, Sifle, until Heracles is seen. I know, right? Who is the man at the desk? Will he give you what you want? Tune in next
Probably
time
not,
on
he's an
Dragon
elf.
Ball Sick Boar.
So
But,
the last thing I remember hearing, you wanted me to explain,
Yes.
and then something had to look up and up, and
Yeah. He's kind of short. You're really tall. He looks up at you and goes, so what is this vote about?
he's sitting there. It's like there's a loading screen going on in his head, and then pop. Snaps off a salute. Sir, yes, sir. We are here to request a vote for a piece of sick board.
He like looks at you and goes, "Spore?
That is correct, sir.
And what credentials do you have?"
Sir, crap, what is my order again? He wouldn't fall apart like this, but I am.
Yeah.
We also spoke to the astral projection of Stramdex.
Sir, yes, sir. Paladin of Iara. Also, sometime adventurer and survivor of an encounter with Stramdex himself.
He like looks at you absolutely incredulously, and then like everyone in the or everyone in the circle who had been growing a tree at this point stop, look at you, and then one of them walks over to like a bird bath, starts to brush the waters, and Lackwick is like, "Don't worry, I was sent a visage by Liar as well. They're telling the truth." And looks up and goes, "So it is. So you're trying to get the requisition for the piece of sick boar held within the temple." And he kind of ponders for a moment. And one of his clones walks over with a cup of tannic tea for Lackwick. And even one of them offers a cup to you.
I take it and militarily drink it.
Yep, it tastes a little bit like turpentine and a little bit like tree, but it tastes very healthy.
Well, considering I probably look and say, you have exactly 3 splotches of mud on your right boot heel.
He looks down and says, I should fix that. And grinds his boot into the mud even more.
Sir, now you have approximately 15.
He says, "Excellent." He says, "Now, you've seen Stramdex, and that is disconcerting. He hasn't spoken to anyone since he was locked away."
I'm sure he doesn't have any friends left, sir.
I love this "sir, yes, sir" from Heracles. It's so to the point. He goes, "I would assume so too. I might be able to get you your vote. But," and he kind of looks at you and says, "I need something from you."
I can give most of my body parts, sir.
"Not that." And he kind of looks at you like unfazed that you said that, as if someone offers him that every day. He says, there we go. "George Handlesmith. He's the head administrator of the contract administration. He's pretty much the one who runs all the guilds. He's been slightly overstepping a informal personal agreement that we've had based on what counts as preserved forest. I need you to go to him and convince him
Kill him.
that our previous arrangement is important."
Sir, prerequisites. Am I allowed to use force?
"No, I don't want you to kill him or harm him. He's a council member."
What about holding him out of windows?
"If you do it, I'd prefer not to hear about
I'll take that as a yes, sir.
it." The no-nonsense paladin, ready to fucking hold a man out a window.
I love it.
He goes, "If you can settle this land dispute for us, I'd be more than happy to vote. I usually abstain, to be perfectly honest with you."
Well, we wouldn't not want that now, would we, sir?
He goes, "I suppose that he wouldn't. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to get back to growing my friend here."
Yes,
And-
sir.
Yeah, and all of them go back, and like it's literally 5 seconds later, you see that a fucking like the tree turns into an int and starts walking into the forest.
Well, Heracles is standing there and has just now realized he has held a salute the entire. Puts his hand down, rearranges 3 microbes on his armor that are out of place, and turns an abrupt about face and starts walking.
Yeah, Lackwick is like, "Hey, wait for me!" and like starts following you as you guys exit through the woods. And we'll go back to Seifel.
Meow.
Meow indeed. Seifel, you get to the 10th floor and you see an older elf gentleman sitting at the desk. You can tell he's older because he has a couple crow's feet. Right?
Disgusting.
Yeah, right. And he's sitting there and he goes, can I help you?
Yes, sir. I am here to speak with Captain Barrett.
Here to speak with Captain Barrett. Do you have an appointment?
I am here on order by Theed Blackedge III concerning this week's vote, sir.
The captain is currently busy.
I hold out my familial signet ring.
He looks at it, unimpressed, and goes, as I said.
And I have information about a counterfeit operation that we just put a stop to. I produced one of the counterfeit coins. I'm like, all the coins will share the same stamp face.
As I said, the captain is currently busy. If you wouldn't mind having a seat, I might see if I can fit you in.
Well, here I was thinking that it was going to be the captain has a meeting. She can't speak to anyone today. But then I go and take the seat.
Yeah, and did you say that as Seifel?
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks over and says, "Oh, don't worry. You might be so lucky as to not have an eye." And he goes
give
and
him a
opens.
Look.
He gives you a look back. But he goes to these big slate doors. He opens them, and you hear an argument in the inside. I don't care whatever you have to say. You're not going to sway me. Listen, it doesn't matter what you're wanting to do. I can't help you, right? And then, like, the door closes behind him.
Who's that?
Who's what?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, the man.
Yeah, that's a great question. Who is the man?
I recognize that.
Portugal.
Portugal. The man is the country of Portugal.
No, Portugal the man.
It's actually Ansip
musician.
in a disguise. You
Yeah.
can tell by the jingling bells on his hat as he walks.
Yeah, right?
So yeah, he gave me the whole, wouldn't you want to know Leviosa?
Yeah. Yeah, well, no, he went into the door.
Oh.
So he's inside. You're alone in the lobby right now.
Yeah, probably I'm like, elves.
Yeah. About 2 minutes passes, and he walks out, and the heated argument is no longer happening. You can hear hushed voices, but that's about it. And then the door closes. He says, against my better judgment, she will see you soon.
Thank you. I'm very much sure that your captain appreciates your judgment call.
And he gives you this kind of not a scowl, but like just one of those like an old person who very much disapproves and gets back to like scribing some things.
And I give him that look of a young person who just got something despite an elder's objections.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're getting looks all over the place today.
Yeah, like I got that Daenerys meme smile.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so like 30 minutes pass and you see a big looking angry man in like pretty much what looks like standard like bandit attire.
Oh dear.
Walk out, like storm out, and like start walking down the stairs, just like, who does she think I am? Some sort of common, sort of thing. Is like he like walks down the stairs.
I asked the elf, like, and who is that gentleman?
That happens to be the captain's business and hers alone. If she decides to tell you, that's fine, but I'm not authorized.
I'll ask someone who knows then. And then I get up and start making my way to the
Yeah. You walk in and you see the head of the captain of the guard for the first time.
It's your mom.
You see Ophelia Barrett, and she's like got her head in like one hand as she's like scribing with the other. She looks clearly stressed, and she looks up and goes, "Oh, pleasure to see you. How can I help you?"
I, nod my head to her, and I'm like, I promise this won't take long, Captain. It seems that you're keeping less than good counts, or something where I'm like, hey, that guy was kind of a dick who just left.
Yeah. She looks up and goes, "Well, if he had his druthers, he wouldn't have been in my meeting room."
And I just produce, like, I'm sure we have some writ from Thede that's like,
you have
hey,
a
these
writ.
guys are really with me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm with Thede Blackedge III regarding this upcoming vote. My name is Seifel Vedamain. I'm one of the adventurers that encountered Stramdex.
Vedamain, where have I heard that? Oh, your family is nobles, right? And she like takes the note, looks it over, and
Very
hands it back to
petty
you.
nobles, in more ways than one.
I've never been one for nobility. Too much talk, not enough action. Never listen to my orders.
I've never been one for nobility either. Too much cat, not enough human.
She kind of like actually chuckles at that and is like, well, that's one way to put it. So, you're coming in regards to which particular vote?
The releasing of a piece of sick boar.
She like looks at you and she has almost like this sympathetic look and she's like, I'm sorry, I can't vote for that. It's too much of a safety risk. And like looks back down to her papers.
Even though Stramdex has found a way to communicate outside, which means that obviously he's finding a way to break free.
That does not mean he's finding a way to break free. It only means that he's found a way to project, which...
He already found a way to turn from an elf into an illithid.
And she keeps scribbling. He's like, well, that may be one thing, but here's another. I can't risk one of our greatest assets for the city being taken out of the city.
I look around. I'm trying to think how do I get around that? But
I didn't know you were such a coward, Captain.
Oh, there was also this small matter of when we fought Ansip and his guards at the temple, we found Chunk. Big old sack full of fake coins.
She takes a look. Well, these certainly are counterfeit. Made of pyrite, looks like. And you're actually pretty impressed. She made that immediately. She knew immediately.
Yeah, this is her job.
Yeah. Tosses it back in the thing and says, I appreciate that. We'll have our guards on higher lookout for counterfeit coinage. And she's like, I mean, it's good work that you did, and as far as taking out the members of Silver Cast out there, I heard that was a fantastic job. I'd have to commend you for that. Sadly, many of my resources are currently tied up in other things, or else I'd be bored. You might be able to go by the Adventurers Guild. I hear they have loose coin to spare nowadays.
I'm not in this for the money. I was in this because it was for the betterment of the city.
She looks up and you see an actual genuine, like, half smile for a second. Says, not enough of your type around here.
And there'll be far less if Stramdex gets his way again.
Says, yeah, or if the guards decide to strike on me.
The guards what?
If the guards decide to strike on me.
The guards are threatening to strike.
Said they're spread too thin. Don't have enough people to cover the ground. And I do have a lot of them working multiple shifts, and that is in fact taxing quite a bit of, well, the tax funds.
I might have a solution
So
for
she's
that.
target.
Sorry, one at a time.
You go ahead, Daniel.
No, you're good. I was making a joke.
I was like, I might have a solution to 2 problems then.
Oh.
There's a farm outside of town, Raven Farm. Councilman Miller has been complaining that they've been keeping people in forced indentured servitude.
Yes, I'm aware.
Well, if you were to relieve them of their indentured servitude, they might make good guardsmen.
Right, but at the same time, there's 2 problems with that. One, I don't have the manpower to send a force large enough to deal with that noble army out there. I mean, there's not going to be bloodshed, but if we bring about a face that isn't big enough, they're going to laugh us off their land and say that there's nothing wrong. 2, those yokels happen to live out there. I'm fairly certain the only thing we would be able to manage to do is to convince the nobles to pay them a fair wage and then get the villagers back into their homes. There's not a lot I can do in that situation. That's actually what I happen to be talking to Bothea there about.
Bothea.
Yeah, Bothea. He's not my usual type of person.
Is that a name I recognize at all?
Make me a knowledge local check.
Alright. I got lots of those. I got lots of knowledge.
Alright.
You have the knowings.
Finally.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, you know Bothea. Bothea was recently had his bounty paid off, and it was a very steep bounty. But he's a highwayman, but more importantly, he is a deserter. All of his group of highwaymen are actually like military trained men. They're just deserter highwaymen.
Why don't you use him and his men?
That's what I was trying to do, but we couldn't come to an agreement on the price. Plus, he thinks that I hold some sort of heirs that I don't.
Heirs such as...
Oh, being hoity-toity or pretentious, as he puts it.
How much of a discrepancy is between you and him on terms of price?
Well, let's just say that his price wasn't gold, his price was hunting ground. And I'm not talking about the king's quarter either.
So he wanted a writ of privateering, essentially, but against civilians.
That's the one. I tried to convince him that if he were to skirmish against Ethad, he would make much more money, and I, to be frank with you, do not quite care about the merchants of Ethad as much as the ones coming into Belts.
Fuck. I need this to work because I need these votes. Ma'am, I know and I understand why you don't want to release Sickbor to us. Frankly, I didn't think that Sickbor was real until about a week ago. But we already have 2 pieces. One of those pieces was what was being used by Stramdex to try and communicate with the outside world. And Ansip, the one who I believe might have funneled the information to destroy the silver casts, was the one communicating with him.
She kind of frowns for a second. Says, Ansip is mixed up in all of this? No.
We nearly had him too, but he collapsed almost the entire room on us in his escape.
Well, that certainly is troubling.
It means that this goes a lot deeper than either of us know.
Make me a diplomacy check.
Oh, God. This is going to end very badly, folks. Let's see.
Ha!
Oh,
She looks at you and she says, I know it's going to end badly, but it could only end worse if you're given the piece. Sickbore. Let me lay something out for you. I have problems up to my ears in this city, and the last problem I need is one of the championing pieces of defense that the city has leaving possession, even if that old fool in the garden decides that he wants you to have it. So here's my deal I'm gonna make. If you can find a way, give me the staffing I need, which would be either 20 trained men or 50 to 100 untrained men, I'd be willing to throw in my vote. I'll even take care of that Raven's Farm situation for you. But as of right now, my resources are stretched far too thin.
Twin full moons shall hang thrice days red. On the third days the sky shall be lit with fire. Then he shall rise full of power. Once the shards three combine, Sickbore shall become revived by the hands of the smith of Kalsamena.
Wonderful flowery word.
No, it means that we have less than 2 months to finish this. I'll see what I can do, but I'm not guaranteeing anything, Captain.
She looks at you and says, well, if you're not guaranteeing anything, then nor shall I. And she shoots you kind of a smile. Not like a smile,
Yeah,
but like one
hey,
of the
hey,
flat
hey.
smiles.
Yeah, I'm just like, I return it, like, he might have been right. And I just make my leave.
Ha! All right, yeah,
Bitch.
you exit, and as you exit, the elf looks at you and goes, how did your meeting go?
I just look at him, and I'm like, let's just say that when he does come back, I'll make sure that you're one of the first people he gets his little grubby illithid hands on, smartass.
He has a triumphant grin as he like leans back as you exit.
I'm actually gonna try and find that guy. I mean, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
I hate this.
It's not hard, actually. You actually walk downstairs, and like as you're downstairs, you see a couple guards hassling this like monster of a man. He's like, "What's the problem?"
I start going towards them. I'm like, I look the guards and I'm like, the captain informed me of what's going on. Let me handle it. We're leaving anyway.
He like looks at you, and the guards are like, "All right." Like they have that like this is above my pay grade bullshit going on. All these guards, by the way, just seem fucking shit. Like morale is low, you know.
It might be easier to just replace the captain. It was someone who would vote for us. I mean, what? I'm not a rogue. Shut up.
Hey, that's a legitimate strategy.
Part of me was like,
that out.
Part of me was like, when that elf was like that, I was like, do I hit him? Do I hit him?
We could just put them all on red flower, and then all of our problems would be solved. We'd have an army of adder.
Yeah,
an adder army.
I shoo them away and start walking with this mountain with the mountain.
Yeah. You walk out and fuck, what did I name him again?
Boesith or something like that.
Oh wait, yeah, Oethus. Oethus. That's what I named him. And let me write that down real quick. Oethus. There we go. Yeah, he like looks at you and he goes, "Thanks."
Honor among thieves.
Yeah, he shoots you a big smile. And this guy's a human. He's a big human.
Like me big?
Heracles big.
Ooh, dang.
Ooh.
Yeah. He shoots you a grin. And you notice, actually, he has spiked teeth on the top and bottom, almost tusk-like.
Oh, is he like a... So you said he's human, but that makes me think half-orc for some reason, but it could just be
He is
sharpened his teeth.
He is a very, very, very human lineaged half-orc.
Ah, like a
He's like,
orc.
he's a 16th orc, yeah. He looks
So
and
he gets to
goes,
go to college.
So he reaches down his hand. He goes, "Oethus, nice to meet you."
I take it, and I'm like, Seifel.
He goes, Seifel. You happen to be Seifel Veramain?
Unfortunately, at times, and I shoot him this smile.
Yeah. He goes, I've actually heard a little.
Good, I hope.
Well, heard that you happen to take the head off of Iron Hand, but no business of mine.
Well, actually, that was a compatriot of mine, a Johnny from the West named Hadra.
Yeah, I hear she's a real fire start. Happened to beat the ever-living hell out of one of his comrades.
Oh, yeah. We need people like her with what we're up to.
Phew. Gods know it. I had a little bit of respect for Iron Hand. Again, I'm not gonna try and take out some blood oath, but he was the kind of man like my kind of man.
I wasn't
Discipline.
exactly for the killing myself.
He goes, "Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world. You do what you gotta do. Why else would I be in my particular vocation?" He shoots you a big grin.
About that, I spoke to the old woman and her knife-eared friend up there.
Damn.
And seems like they've been
Spicy.
seems like they've been having you've been having a disagreement with her about hunting grounds.
Yeah. Listen, all we're trying to do is maintain our control on the Southern Highway. We don't kill people unless they fight back. We don't try and hurt anybody. We take what we take and we leave it. I even had margins set up. I don't think I'm that unreasonable.
Well, there's a noble house not far from here that you could help with a matter. You know nobles, they've got plenty of money. And these ones are, they're borderline slavers.
What kind of problem they need solving?
There's a bunch of people that they're keeping in indentured servitude, making sure that they never get enough money to leave.
Classic. Extortion.
But if that was able to be solved, that would get you quite a bit of money, get you the captain's gratitude, and it would help me as well.
He goes, "I only heard one thing in there that I give a shit about, and that's quite a lot of money." And he looks down at you and he goes, "What? I get that you've got an angle in this. Everybody's got an angle in it somewhere, right? So, what's your angle, kid?"
You ever heard of Stramdex?
Sure, bedtime story. Bad one, that is.
Nah, he's real. He talks to us now because he's breaking free. But the guards don't think that we need to get the piece of Sickbor to actually put him down.
He, looks at you, and, this would be like, have you ever heard of Hansel and Gretel? Well, I saw the house.
Yeah, I know.
And I need, yeah. He looks at you and goes, "Whoa. You saw Stramdex."
Well, after Ansip and I Well, Ansip and we all fought Ansip, who was working with him, and it's
Eh.
probably why he turned over the silver cast is to cover his own ass.
He's like, wait.
You were going on a tangent. Hold on.
That is two things that I am a little surprised at. One, you fought Ansip and lived.
I pull up like, I've probably still got that wound I got from that asshole that stabbed me, but he doesn't know where that came from. So I'm like,
That would be a bluff, by the way.
I have the
You have a physical wound, but you're telling him you're lying to him.
Yeah, and it looks like it came from a bladed weapon, which
I'll
he
give you
used.
+4.
Please, God, let one thing work today.
Oof.
Hey!
Hell yeah.
He looks at it and he goes, shit, that's an impressive wound. Seems like something Ansip would do. And he goes, and Ansip turned over the silver cast?
How else do you think that the council got everyone's name that quickly? And Theed Blackedge III was sent Dreamweaver's head.
Yeah, that, Wait, you met Theed Blackedge III?
He's the one who's sending us on this little trip to try and get all these votes. I show him, like, that very clean cut on my shield.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what one of the pieces of Sickboard did to my shield when I knocked it off an altar.
He kind of, without even, like, minding your personal bubble, like, takes the edge of the shield and, like, tilts it so he can get a better look at it. He's
the
like,
cleanest cut he's ever seen.
Oh, yeah. He's like, that is one hell of a slash. You're the real deal, ain't you?
I waggle my ears and my tail, and I'm like, I try.
-5 points. No, he's like, oh shit. Alright. Well, I've just heard some of the craziest batshit shit I've heard all day, or all week, or maybe even all year. But I can respect it. So, you're trying to get the piece of Sickbore out, eh?
Yeah.
And you figure that getting that out of the city will help you?
Well, with all the pieces, we believe that we can take them to someone named the Smith of Calcimena and have the sword put back together.
He actually goes, huh. You ever heard of the Smith of Calcimena?
Only in the prophecy.
Well, let me give you a little tip I heard. I used to run a guy named Gunrick. He was old fella, but he always knew all these stories, and he actually told me a story. Apparently the Smith of Calcimena is a smith that lives deep in the Iron Boar Mountain. He's supposedly one of the greatest that the world has ever seen. He wasn't a dwarf, but apparently his crafts can supersede even some of the greatest dwarven crafts too. I don't know, but if you're going to him, you got a dangerous fucking road ahead of you.
And that's how you know that we're serious.
Yeah. Tell you what, I like you. I might go up there and see if the captain needs a little bit of help with that land dispute. If, and that's a big if, the captain agrees to pay me something good about it, and I can squeeze a little something from the folks who are currently being indentured, and maybe even blackmail those
Nobles?
blackmail those nobles. I'd figure that's a good enough chunk to maybe get on a bit more of a straight and narrow.
I think the captain would be willing to do something like that, as long as... Well, the thing that she was most concerned about was the hunting rights.
Yeah, I figure I can see why that would be frustrating for her, but, what can I say? A couple of the boys have grown pretty used to the lifestyle, if you know what I mean. I might be able to do something about it. Listen, you probably are a busy person. You seem like the kind of person who'd have a lot to do. Where are you staying tonight?
Well, last night I stayed at the monastery, but usually me and the group can be found at the Deep Woods Lodge.
Me and the boys.
Me and the boys.
Me and the boys. 3 a.m.
Me and the boys staying at the Deep Woods Lodge. He goes, oh shit, I got buddies over at the Deep Woods Lodge. I'll send a message your way telling you what it's looking like tonight.
I appreciate it.
He goes, hey, while you're chasing fairy tales and monsters, try not to get yourself killed. You seem like an interesting one.
Well, I haven't died yet, and frankly, I think that means I'm doing something right.
He goes, yeah, well, that's what life is. Not dying until you do. And he shakes your hand.
I
He's
shake his back as much as I can.
Yeah, and he goes, if you'll excuse me, I've got one pissed off bean counter to deal with. And just walks into the door. And like the guards are like, hey, you're not supposed. Yeah. The guards are like, hey, you're not supposed to. Fuck off. And keeps walking.
Oh no, I don't know if that counts as enough to where I can run back to Miller and be like, I got it. There's gonna be people working on it. Give me your vote.
That would be enough actually, because someone just promised that they're going to go and deal with that land problem.
Oh yeah, well then I'm gonna be able to run over to Miller and be like, I got somebody to do it now. Give me your vote.
Yeah. We don't have to RP that because that's pretty simple. So yeah, you can now write down that you have Miller.
What about the captain?
Huh?
What about the captain?
That one might take a little bit. Because effective action needs to happen.
Yeah. But Miller is yes, finally.
Yes. Yeah, so Johan, let's go back to you. Johan, did you figure out where specifically you were going?
Yeah, we're gonna go to North Town, Nala Satembe.
Nala Satembe? Okay, excellent. So yeah, you guys walk out to North Town. And let's see here. In North Town, that is going to be... Yeah, exactly what I thought it was. You guys head out to about here, which is inside the walls, but North Town. This area is pretty standard. You see a lot of pretty basic houses. This is mostly residential, you know. The stuff inside the city is like multi-level stuff, like stuff going to 3rd, even 4th floor. Wow. But yeah, you get to what looks like a fairly inauspicious home. It's big, but it doesn't look opulent. You know what I mean?
Right.
And Grillin's like, are we sure that this is the place?
It seems to be. Maybe she does not like things to be so costly. I was trying to think of the word.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I suppose. No? You want to go knock or me?
I'll walk up. He'll just head towards it to go knock.
Yeah, you go and knock on the door. And you're surprised because you know what Nala Satembe looks like. You know what all of these people look like. You've seen them at one point or another since you've been, like, here, you know.
Yeah.
And Nala Satembe fucking opens the door. And she goes, how can I help you?
Yes, friend. My name is Johan Fodtraveler, and this is my friend Grelin. I forgot his last name.
Hellskin.
Hellskin. We are with a...
Oh, don't forget your other friend.
We have someone else?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you. Oh my god. Sorry, there was
Shadow
so much
Boy.
role-playing going on. Yeah.
Jonathan Betts Thorne.
And Jonathan Bedthorn, I point to the shadow next to the door.
She like looks, and this is an interesting trio. A tiefling, a tiefling, a shadow boy who's a pale human, and then just like you, who's just dressed like an adventurer.
Yeah.
She's like, pleasure to meet you. Please come in, and she like invites you into her home.
Excellent. Exactly what I
Yeah.
was expecting. Now I steal everything. I mean, what?
Rogue. All right, see ya.
Rogue your house.
It's totally hunter loot.
Oh yeah.
If it's not
But yeah,
bolted
so
down,
you
it's
like
legal, right?
you walk in, and she starts pouring you like a cup of tea,
Yeah.
And to give her a description, she is a dark-skinned woman with like white tattoos that are around like the top of her forehead that are just like dots. She kind of has this frizzy hair that's like kempt but just barely, like the kind of thing of like, I woke up, I put my hair up, what else do you want from me? She's wearing like
that.
yeah, and she's like wearing like pretty basic clothes. And actually, Johan, make me a knowledge geography, maybe?
Geography.
Is this what is this to identify?
Where she's from.
Yeah, probably geography or history. Fuck if I know.
I'd call it
local.
geography.
Knowledge.
Yeah, you've seen like both this look and this skin tone before. She's clearly from Akabe, which is like the big merchant place, like kind of in the middle of the map, the one that like has blocked off the main canal going inland, um, for their own financial gain. Um, but yeah, she looks like one of them. Um, that's not what I meant.
Wow.
But she looks like someone from Akabe, and has
Yeah.
like the mannerisms of. And she's like, so how can I help you?
Yes, we are part of an adventuring party, working with alongside thieves. Is it thieves?
Feed.
Feed.
Deed Blackish the Third. There is a vote coming up for the council, and we're hoping to obtain your yes that we may take the pieces of. Sorry, I'm really tired. I can't remember
Sick board.
words. Sick board.
Yeah.
To gather them all together. My battery is running low. That is.
Someone please turn the screw on my back. I need to recharge.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. She looks and she cocks an eyebrow and says, "You're wanting to take the piece of sick board?
That is correct.
Well," and she like looks at the writ that you have.
Yeah,
Says,
I definitely hand that over.
says, "Well, you clearly liberated the other one. I don't see why you shouldn't have the set. You have my vote."
Why
Wonderful.
can't it all be that easy?
Right, dude.
That easy? That easy.
It's because I'm a human, and human privilege.
You know,
Nah,
you're not
it's
dealing
not.
with fucking elves and guard ladies.
Nah, it's because her main problems are fairly easy to fix problems, and her like province is doing very well right now.
I'm so
Like
proud of her.
the hardest part of her province right now is she's trying to get clean drinking water to the farthest edges, but it's not a
Oh.
pressing matter because they
And
can walk an
that's-
extra
yeah.
mile.
That's really not
Yeah.
something adventurers can do. Like, let's go carve out a trench. Oh, what?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if we had
Heracles is feeling like he could probably put a good half-mile trench in at the moment.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say if I was
Yes, sir.
actually a wizard, I would just be like create or destroy or mold earth or something.
Yeah. And
I don't think I have anything for that.
yeah, she's just like she's pretty like, yeah, no, I'll do it. And she's like, now I do have one question for you.
Of course.
What is what do you plan on doing when you have sick boar put together, assuming you can find the third piece?
Well, we hope to prevent Stramdex from returning. We've encountered some phenomena might actually insinuate he will return. It's odd, I know.
I could see it happening. Is there anything I could do to help pass my vote?
If you could talk to some of the other council members, I know not all will be so. What's the word? That was supposed to be my own voice. What's the word for understanding? I guess?
Acquiesce?
Yeah.
Oh, not all will be
Reasonable.
not all will be so understanding or reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like so understanding and reasonable. They might try to fight us on for their own. There's another voice in the council that can help persuade them. That'd be very helpful.
Yes, that's not a bad idea. I believe that I can do that. If I had a suggestion,
Yes.
you might want to talk to Oxnar Wildheart. He is one of the people who would most definitely be willing to get behind the rejuvenation of a mystical weapon or a weapon of legend. Or potentially you might want to talk to Samantha Bleakwidow. She might be interested in this information.
Thank you very much. I will see to them personally.
Excellent. And I will see what I can do for the rest of these members. I heard Lackwick was doing something with them, so I'm sure that you could use all the help you can get.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, she'll let you stay as long as you want and just drink tea and shoot the shit.
Yeah, he'll probably do that for a bit because he's a person's person.
Oh, for sure. And she's got stories. The thing that you find out about her is she's like, she would never say it, but you can kind of tell she's probably one of the most functional council members. Like, she just kind of does her own shit and like works when she has to.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry, James.
Yeah, that's what that loud crashing was me jumping out of my skin. My headset fell off, and now it's partly broken.
You're so lucky.
Ooh. Damn, man, you just keep having issues, don't you?
Yeah.
But yeah, you find out that she's pretty much just like pretty self-sufficient. You also find out Grellin, after he's had like tea, is like, you know what? We also might want to talk to Pierce Broken Arrow. She's the lead of the of the Adventurers Guild, and I'm pretty well in bed, you know what I mean. I'm pretty well in good graces with her. But yeah, so you know, you guys. A good question is, Mr. Shadow Boy, how are you taking all of this social interaction?
Do you take tea?
Is there tea? Oh,
There is tea.
there's tea. He's probably taking the tea and then just
Taking the motherfucking tea.
taking the motherfucking tea and then just letting the big boys talk.
Yeah, all right, fair
Because
enough.
social interaction is hard.
Do you find a shadowy corner to they're talking?
I assume, like, with the way that we've been going about this shadow the whole time, it's just sitting in the chair and just kind of envelopes the chair in shadows while he's just kind of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, perfect.
It's just
I
that
love it.
awkward, creepy.
Pure evil drinks tea ASMR. Yeah, no, I love it. Perfect. So yeah, I think we have time to squeeze one more scene in here. And that is gonna be Heracles.
Sir, yes, sir.
Heracles, first of all, did another spider fall, James?
No, I'm putting industrial strength glue on the
Oh.
broken spot, and that
was
wasn't
like-
me.
The
Oh.
spider's wife is now there, angry
Yeah.
that he killed the spider.
Player 2 enters the game.
A new challenger approaches.
No,
But,
sorry, I probably hear that every time I mute my mic.
Yeah. But yeah, so Heracles. First of all, Lekwak casts prestidigitation to clean your armor and you. Because he's like,
Probably
you guys, yeah, you probably are not going to be great at talking to diplomats if you look like shit and smell like shit.
Druids, yes.
Oh,
Normal
so
people,
the
no.
forest druids were fine with.
Yes, no, druids don't give a shit.
They were probably happy that you looked like that.
Yeah, they were like, cool, a man of the earth.
He's a man of something, all right.
Currently a man on Red Flower.
How long
But
is
yeah.
that stuff supposed to last, by the way?
Oh, about a couple hours.
I was gonna say I'd love to see his crash.
Oh yeah. So where are you gonna visit next?
He didn't actually have a plan. He just decided, yes, must go hold man out.
Yeah.
We should actually probably go talk to Mr.
That's right. You were going to talk to
Mendelsmith.
George Handlesmith.
Handlesmith, that's my bad.
There we
You
go.
I
want
was
to
like,
handle
it's-
my
it's a-
Smith?
I was like, it was one of those old-timey composers. Was it Mendelssohn or was it Handel?
Why not both?
Yeah. But yeah, so you head out to the. Let's see here. So you head out to the contract administration. The contract administration is a very fucking big bureaucracy building. You get up to the front, and it's probably the most modern out of all these buildings you've seen, like close to a modern day building. It has actual glass windows, 3 stories tall. All of it is office space. That sort of thing. Like it probably has like mandated break rooms.
Right, now, remind me, he is not a vote we have to worry about, correct?
He is.
He
Is he-
is. Because right now there's a discrepancy on foresting to get Petrichor's vote, right? And he is the kind of guy who also probably will look at this from a wealth standpoint. Like Blackwick would probably be like, yeah, this guy, I don't know. He's the kind of guy who looks at everything like money. Money this, money that. Sycamore is probably worth a small fortune. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but I'm very excited to see what's gonna happen.
Well, I did promise I would hold him out a window if I had.
I dig it. But yeah, you walk in and like a secretary is like, "How can I help you?"
Yes, I've been told to see a Mr. Handelsmith.
All right, Mr. Handlesmith is going to be on the top floor. He's going to be room 307.
307, on it. Thank you. Snap to attention, turn right, and walk.
Ghostbusters, how can I help you?
Yeah.
That's where I remember that accent.
But yeah, so you head up to room 307.
307.
Yep. And do you knock? Do you open the door? What do you do?
Open.
You just
Knock
open
3
the
times.
door.
Oh, I said sorry. I was like knock, and then open the door immediately.
Yeah,
No wait.
like open.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, you open it. And you see a gnome, and he looks up and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing in my office?"
I was here to discuss several things with you. What is his title? Just a second. I just had it.
Head administrator of the
administrator.
contract.
There you go. Head administrator.
All right. Well, I was in the middle of a contract that I was currently signing off on, but I suppose that can wait. How can I help you, Mr.
My name is Heracles. Heracles, and then spins off into probably a more, like, I don't know, entitled-y title rather than
Yeah.
a bullshit.
Yeah.
First order of this, second order of that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and like Lackwick is just standing by you, just like kind of like, just kind of like, hey, George Blackwick.
Yes, we are here to discuss about the vote for the piece of Sycamore. Oh, also, the Druids want their forest back. At least that's how I understand.
The Druids want their forest back, and you're also asking about the piece of Sycamore. And you
That
want
is correct,
me,
sir.
and I'm assuming that you want me to stop, to draw hard lines for my lumber guild to stop pushing inwards into the forest, and you're also wanting me to vote yes in getting one of our most expensive relics out of the city?
That would be correct, sir, assuming you still care about money.
Option denied. And he, like, stamps a thing.
He did
Well,
say if
that
you
is-
still care about money.
I did say if he doesn't care about money.
Oh, I thought you said if he still.
No, I
Yeah.
said, if you don't. No, all right.
ruined
He's
the
probably going
joke.
to be like, yep, now I'm all confuzzled. Heracles is starting to fall.
The fall of Heracles.
Sir, there are several issues at hand. I believe you cannot ignore at this moment in time.
What can I not ignore? These.
Stramdex.
He, like, looks at you, and he looks at Lackwick,
How much
and
money?
he's like, Stramdex. Oh, Lackwick,
I
you're a
walk up to
practical
him and
jokester.
I'm going to intimidate.
Roll me an intimidate.
Pick
Oh my
him
God.
up and throw him out a window.
He is a no.
Fenestration.
Take that, bureaucrats.
Take that, fat cat.
I might have added some points to interrogation since last.
What do you do to intimidate this man?
Pick him
Did
up
you
and
put
hold
your
him out a
entire
window.
level?
What's that?
Did you put your entire level into it?
Maybe.
Jesus Christ.
I am going to slam my hands on the desk and lean so far over my face is inches from his. Yes, Stramdex. Now,
Oh.
assuming you want your currency to not devalue faster than you can say out the window, I suggest you do some reconsidering.
He looks at you and goes, right. Well, for the first part of your request, let me just, and he, like, while maintaining eye contact, like, nervously fiddles around with a bunch of shit in his desk until he pulls out a piece of paper and, like, writes some shit and rings a bell. And this woman walks in and is like, how can I help? How can I? And he's just like, please go and get this in triplicate. And she, like, grabs it and walks out and goes, that is a writ defining hard borders to the exact definition of what Mr. Petrichor is wanting. I will have someone deliver that to his estate at a later point today. As for the vote, you have my vote.
Yay,
boy.
dude.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day. And I pat his desk and straighten up and turn around.
Desk.
Lackwick just, like, looks at you like, holy shit, as you guys, like, walk out. And as you walk out, you just hear, like,
You hear a trickle of liquid hitting the floor.
my good trousers, no.
Well, they weren't brown when I bought them,
I
but
love it.
Yeah.
way to get 2 votes at once, my
God
boy.
Yeah. Nice job. Right on. So I think
At that point, he probably starts going down the stairs and is like, okay, I think I need more of that stuff. My tongue feels a little...
Sorry, buddy. I am not giving you. You're not supposed to have. I gave you probably too much red flour, especially for a newbie. We're gonna hold a little off on that. You know, how does a lunch break sound?
He falls down
my
the
tongue
stairs.
feels... I can't feel my tongue.
I'll
This is gonna
find
be-
you bed.
This is gonna be how Heracles turned into Pam from Archer.
Who is Pam from Arch?
Cocaine addicted secretary.
She
Phrasing.
they
Or
they
no,
wrap her up.
HR rep.
Yeah, they wrap her up in a cocaine turned into
A body cast.
a body cast. and then her sweat starts mingling with it, and she absorbs it through her skin, and becomes addicted to
Yeah.
Oh, God.
cocaine, and she gets really thin and stuff. So I mean, there's that.
You know, Archer never quite spoke to me. I watched like 6 seasons of it, and I never quite was like, yes. You know, I was always like, well, I guess this is a show. But other people who like it, that's fine. It's just not my show, I don't think.
Yeah, you
Um,
do you, boo. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we have
But anyway, I think that we will call tonight's episode here.
7
Um,
votes, potentially 8 if that guard bitch does what she should.
which means that you are halfway there.
Whoa,
And if
living on a prayer.
And if she doesn't, I'm going to go back
Ah!
up there and then throw the elf out the window and then throw her out the window onto the elf.
Oh yeah,
Hey, that sounds like a plan.
hell yeah. But yeah, so anyway, since we're calling it here, I will let's let Techie. How about you lead us off on the sign off?
All right. I'm not muted, am I?
No.
No.
All right,
No,
cool.
you're not muted.
I have to keep remembering it whether or not I push the button or not, because it doesn't show up on Discord.
yeah.
So, hi there. I'm your local tech support, and I have been playing a Shadowcaster. Which, my God, have you ever? If you ever take a minute to look at it, you'll know why I said that. Anyway, and he's a fun guy. And then I play a necromancer in on a Tuesday game, Realms Refuge, and he's fun. He's a lot of fun. So I'm doing port talking tonight. So,
Welcome to my life today as well.
dude, it's been a rough. I don't know.
I think it's been a rough day for just about everyone.
Right? I went to the dentist today.
Yeah.
Right. And then on Sundays, every other Sunday, there's Juxtaposed Hijinks, in which I play Quentin Beck. God, it took me a minute to remember the name. A cleric. He's, that's fun. And I think that's it.
Hell yeah. All right. Next down the line, let's do Johan.
What up, everyone? I'm Sassy Nasty 69, aka Johan Traveler. Who you just saw is a Romani-esque rogue. I was like, how do I go into this next sentence? You can catch me on Fridays. I think it's every other Friday for Brian's game.
Yep.
Yeah. Maybe tomorrow, maybe not. We'll see if we have a game.
Brian has been sick, by the way.
He's
So
been sick, which is why I
send
was not
him
here.
your well wishes. Use your wish spell to wish Brian not sick.
Well, if
God,
only
can
you
you imagine
hadn't
how
wasted all
terrifying?
of them on Getsuyu.
If Brian and Heracles had gone to that person and both intimidated.
Oh yeah, that would make that man.
How about a small
entirely-
donation of 1,000,000 gold? Just keep me
Yeah.
safe.
That man would have entirely shat in his pantaloon.
Yeah.
Podrick
You can
could have
catch
just
me.
fucking killed the guard captain and be like, I am the captain now.
This Saturday, I'll be running Spark of Fate, and every other Saturday for Justice Grab Bag when it's like Legacy Wrestling because it's so fun. Oh my god, seriously, like it. I know at first to people it sounds like it'd be a weird or boring kind of game, and I was like, I'm gonna give it a shot because it sounds interesting. It sounds like I wouldn't get into it, but then I got into it. I got into it hard.
Oh, it's
Way
so
too hard.
good, isn't it?
Oh my!
Pretty much. So yes, if you ever have a chance, definitely give it a shot. And then on Sundays, for every other Sunday for Juxtaposed Hijinks, I play Gideon Sunborn, the ranger from the desert, who's quiet and likes to hunt big things. And then on Tuesdays, Susano Wild, Susano Wild, the ranger with the snake from the caves, the cool dark caves. Your battery is very low, and there goes my laptop. Good thing I'm on my computer with my headset. And yeah, I think that's everything right now. And then if
Oh.
I can make a black box, I would be there, but probably not. Because I usually have my outside of this game going on.
Happens to the best of us. But whatever the case, we are going to move on to Heracles.
Or not.
Heracles.
Oh.
Yes, I'm here. Heracles slams his hand on the desk and bends over, staring straight at the camera. Greetings, my name is Heracles. Also known as,
Oh my god.
also known as Cyrus Smith. Thank you for tuning in today. Yes, we managed to do some intimidating. That was a lot of fun. It's fun to pretend to be on drugs, especially when you feel all hopped up like you're on caffeine right now, which I do.
Mhm.
You can also catch me on most Tuesday nights playing Rain or Squeak, whichever her name is anyways. She's good at killing things, and she got to go fishing with her dwarf. Yay! Alright, you can also catch me. Let's see. You can catch me on Spark of Fate this Saturday. Yep, see, I remembered that.
Hey.
And not this weekend, but next weekend, Bob of Dunwood would cordially like to invite you to dinner. A dinner to die for.
It's a trap.
Please join us on Black Box Theater, and I think that's everything for me.
Radical. Well, that leaves only one person.
Oh boy, George, who could it be?
Go, James. Come on. Come on.
Hi ho, friendolos. My name is James, also known as Nightheart, also known as because today has just
Me
been,
too.
dear God, the disparity in
hate the
these
dear
roles.
God.
Look at them. Look at them. There's a nat 1 right next to a nat 20. That's about how today's gone. Playing Seifel, the cat man who's just trying so hard, and
Yeah.
is actually done okay. He just keeps getting saddled with the people who are bitches, and
Ha.
they ain't respecting the trip. Other than that, you can catch me here on Mondays where I play Esley Sorval, the captain of the Spitfire once again. Now that Deadsy is gone, good Edsy is in, and he's got a fucking cape.
Yay.
Very happy about that. Can't wait till we actually get into combat and he can do some captaining. Hope he has a better crew survival expectancy than Kirk.
Huh.
On Tuesdays, I am the DM of Realms of Refuge, where they just beat the crap out of a couple of flying elf twin ladies who knew magic and shit. They found out that they have a flying spaceship that they can potentially fix up, and a whole bunch of other crap. Because this is the end of the season, that's where all the weird shit comes out.
Mhm.
I'm also here that potentially tomorrow, if we have the game, where I will be playing Dacian Melisque, the Crixen Ranger duelist, which is very interesting. Can't wait to learn more about that system.
Mhm.
And sometimes on Saturdays, whenever we have Spark of Fate, where I play Marin Farcaller, the boring old human with the not-so-boring fairy pretending to be a fruit bat named Zamzam. And sometimes with Justice Grabbags, whenever we do... Actually, no, now I think I'm in all of them, technically. I'm in 2 of them as a player, and in 1 of them as the camera crew.
Yeah.
Oh my!
and announcer.
Yeah.
And an announcer.
You can catch me in Apocalypse World, Flesh and Fire, where I play Knowing. You can catch me in Faulty Comics Presents whenever we get back to that, where I play a new character named Glacier. Not Glazier, or whatever. Someone who makes glass. That's his superpower.
Glacier.
Yeah, Glacier. Those are glass, right?
Yeah. Big
Um,
blue glass.
and in
Probably.
Legion Class Wrestling, where I play an announcer, and I go for the chair. And then every other Sunday with Juxtaposed Hijinks, where I play Daggered and Gilded, and the greatest of Dwarven Adventures. And fuck me, that's a long outro, but I'm done.
Imagine if you had to do as many characters as you just did and our social media. That is me. Hi, everybody. Mike also knows when 5 get 1 free. You can catch me here on Monday nights where I get to play Slef, the lovable rap man who is reunited with his family and is now the head of engineering for a very large group of people. Hi! You can also catch me on Tuesdays where I get to play Tifta Libre, the sweet cinnamon bun who's been on a bit of a soul search lately and hopefully by the end of the season has figured her soul out. Hi! You can catch me on Thursdays, where I run Legacy of Stramdex, where these folks have been poking around with politics, and it's been real fun and a whole bunch of goof, and also a whole lot of gimme this for that. You can catch me Fridays, hopefully tomorrow, praying that Brian gets better. Biggie be praised. Where I play Ungus McGillicuddy, who is a trollkin who's willing to shoot anybody or stab anybody or beat up anybody, and he forgot to buy armor. Oh my god, that was a bad choice. He got spit on by a spider and then got sad about it. You can catch me on Fridays, Saturdays in one of several different games. One of which where I play my lovable little Ghostbuster, who I have completely forgotten what his name is, but I'm definitely next time I'm in that campaign playing him again. I also play in Spark of Fate as the frogman who commits eco-terrorism, and holy cow, I've said that for like 4 weeks in a row. We got to get back to it. I'm excited for tomorrow. Well, Saturday. And let's see here. I'm also in Jesta's Grab Bag, where I am beef, or I'm Eastern Bloc, or I'm what's the last one? Scorch Mark. That's the one. And you get you also can catch me on Sundays where I am in every other Sunday where I am in Juxtaposed Hijinks as Linnea Keyless, the water monk who is or the water genocide monk who has been just kind of doing her own thing, not really any particular direction yet. I'll catch some wind at some point and figure out what I'm doing. You can catch us. This is the part that I've still got rehearsed. You can catch us on the YouTubeosphere if you are watching on Twitch at youtube.com/Paradise Theater. You can catch us if you're watching this on YouTube much later. Hello, it's me from the past. You can catch us on Twitch whenever we regularly live stream on twitch.tv/pair_o_dice_theater. Link in the down below. You can also catch us on Twitter for scheduling and hot memes at Pair Theater, PAIRTHEATER. And you can catch me on SoundCloud with my hip hop beats and the whooping and the hopping and the ripping and the rapping at That Hoons. That'd be soundcloud.com/thathoon, THATHOON in all caps. And you know what? I think that finally wraps it up. And for that wrapping it up, I think that it's time for us to give it a big ol' hearty R.I.P. Do we still only have like
R.I.P.
Aaron
social
Melvin?
cues.
Yeah, sure.
R.I.P. R.I.P. George Handlesmith's pants.
I like that. All right. On a count of 3, 3, 2, 1.
R.I.P. George Handlesmith's pants.